We tend to have rules for most areas of our life. How much to eat, how much to use TV, Netflix, or social media, how many hours to sleep, etc. Such rules help us stay disciplined in our lives. Similarly, following specific rules about saving money, spending money, and investing money can help us better manage our finances. We've been helping people be more financially responsible in this channel. We've boiled some of our most common advice down to 7 rules of financial management. Rule 1. The rule of utility. What comes to mind when you think about having money? Thinking about buying a new car, putting food on the table, or buying a new outfit to go to the club this weekend? If any of these things come to mind, that's good because it shows that you understand what money really is, that it's a tool we use to acquire things we want or need. Unfortunately, however, the actual use of money is often not fully understood, and this is where many people get it wrong. For example, if you currently have a relatively low income, you probably think that more money will solve most of your problems. But while money can solve money problems, it can propagate many others as well. That's not to say that you shouldn't strive to make more money. As long as you solve more problems than you create, you should slowly improve your overall quality of life. However, it is important to note that there is not a single person in the world who does not have a problem. For example, if you're a millionaire, you might not need to worry about bills, but you might be constantly asked for money by family members. Alternatively, you may struggle with the worry that one day you may lose all the wealth you worked so hard to accumulate. Although you can strive to make as much money as possible, never let this fool you believing more money will come with a hassle-free life. Rule 2. The rule of time. Ask any rich person and they will tell you that time is by far the most valuable resource we have. Unfortunately, most people don't understand how time affects wealth accumulation, and because of this, most people will live their entire lives in a state of financial mediocrity. However, those who master time tend to master money, and they do so by understanding the 2 key ideas I want to share with you now. First, trading time for money is almost impossible, then only your timing changes. You and I only have so many hours in a day, and unless you're making a colossal amount of money per hour, it can be difficult to make a 6-figure income on your own. Provided you strive to make good money and get rich before you do. The other problem over time is that as we get older we tend to have fewer commitments to ourselves. Earn money. For example, when I was young and single, I could easily work 14 hours a day. However, once you start making commitments to relationships and home ownership, or add children into the mix, time is not a resource you can maximize to get rich. This is why the richest people look beyond their own 24 hours when trying to build wealth. Look at the richest people on the Forbes list are all business owners who have leveraged other people's time, capital, and expertise. Now that's no coincidence. Does that mean you misunderstood the concept of time? Not at all. That's all to say that to get rich, appreciate how your time influences your wealth creation journey. For example, it takes time to gain the work experience that will allow you to climb the corporate ladder. It takes time to learn how to start your first business and scale it to the sales numbers you want. And it definitely takes time to harness the power of the stock market and compound interest to get rich. Just ask Warren Buffett. Once you understand how to capitalize on time, both your own as well as that of others, prosperity becomes 10 times easier. And one more thing, if you like the video so far, do me a big favor and give me a like for this video. Thank you. Rule 3. The rule of protection. Have you ever wondered why you work? It's probably not because you enjoy hearing your coworkers tell you about their family drama, or because you enjoy working longer hours to meet an unrealistic deadline. For most people, the answer is simple. They work to pay their bills and eventually retire. Unfortunately, while most people have the ability to hoard, they work for years to earn the income that they need. They meet these goals, are unable to protect themselves, and stretch their path to financial freedom further than necessary. So what does the protection skill involve? It's about defending yourself against enemies who want to take your money, and we face them every day. A single day it's the vacation your wife asked you for that will animate you to give back 3 years of savings. It's the oversized house your parents hope you'll buy to keep the family name. It's the $60,000 car you hope will add some excitement to your life. All of these are financial enemies separating you from your primary goal of financial freedom. See, anyone can go out and make money. What separates those who get and stay rich from those who struggle financially is how they manage their resources. It's important to internalize this, because just like you can't train more than a bad diet, you can't win a spending problem, so it's more protective. You're off your money, better. Rule 4. The rule of minimal savings. Your entire life you have been told to save your money. Your parents told you to save for bad times, the news tells you to put your cash away, and of course the banks are happy to take your money. But should you really save? Not always. You see, saving money is not the route to wealth and prosperity that people seek. B. In fact, when you save your money, the only person you are getting rich is the bank. You may not know it, but banks make a large part of their income from your money. They take your deposits and lend them to others at lucrative interest rates while paying you a pittance in the process. Does that mean you should avoid saving altogether? Of course not. It just means you need to be more strategic. How much money you have in the bank. For example, I only have so much money in the bank that I can cover livelihood emergency and my daily bills. Being more conservative, I like having a year's value in the bank, but a good goal for anyone just starting out is to set aside 3 to 6 months. I then use the rest of my money to buy real estate, index funds and the like. This allows me to earn much higher returns than the bank would ever give me, and that's why you want to minimize your savings and in turn maximize your investments. Rule 5. The rule of expectation. If you're like most people, you've probably told yourself that once you reach a certain salary or net worth, you'll be happy. I know I've said it to myself 1,000 times, but what I've realized over time, and maybe you too, is that achieving our stated goal never satisfies us completely, we only lead to pushing the goalpost further. I told myself that I would be happy once I made $80,000 a year at my job. However, when I got there I decided it would be better to win $100,000, then $120,000, and so on. So does that mean you shouldn't set financial goals? Not at all. However, not being happy in the future is a big mistake. Unfortunately, most of us continue to make that mistake daily. Now, why is it important to recognize this? Because even if you hear me say this, most of us don't really internalize that thought and instead keep pushing the goalposts, and what I've learned over time is that our current and expected state is. Don't judge out. This is where frustration and dissatisfaction arise. Let's say, for example, you got a new job last year that's $75,000 a year. This is the income you knew you deserved, and when those paychecks rolled in you were more than satisfied. However, after a year of great performance and gaining more experience, he still earns $75,000 but you think you should make $80,000. Suddenly your expectation is that you should make $5,000 more, but you don't, and that's when resentment sets in. That $5,000 discrepancy is known as your expectation gap, and as long as it persists, you will never be happy. For example, there are people who make $150,000 a year but are not happy because they think they should be making $200,000. On the contrary, there are people who make $50,000 a year who are excited because you never expected to make more than $40,000. So, to be financially happy, you need to exceed your expectations. You can do this by striving for more or simply wanting less. What you choose is entirely up to you, but chances are you won't be satisfied until you do. Rule 6. The rule of privacy. If you ask most people why they want to get rich, most will tell you what they would buy if they had more money. But is that really what being rich is all about? In the book The Psychology of Money, author Morgan Housel claims that wealth is what you don't see, and he's absolutely right. A lot of the richest people I know drive average cars, have modest homes, and aren't flashy in any way. However, if you saw their bank accounts, you would probably roll your eyes. However, if we dig a little deeper, what this saying actually means actually leaves us clues as to how it should be about creating wealth. As the saying goes, wealth is invisible, which means that part of getting rich is not visible showing off, which is a friendly reminder that whatever material goods we buy is directly opposed to our goal of becoming financially wealthy in. Now of course we can all accept the notion that the more you buy the less money you have, but putting financial conservatism into practice is easier said than done. It's not just about saving and investing. The more you can do, the faster you'll get rich. If you are currently working to get rich with all the things you can buy, you may want to change course. Do not attach your financial success to material goods, but the feeling of power and freedom can provide. I say this because the more you need, the harder it is to get richer, but the less do you need, well, the opposite is true. Rule 7. The rule of obligation. Do you know what the best part about being a kid is? No, it's not about going to recess or letting your mom choose your clothes. The best thing about being a kid is not having any responsibilities or worries in the world. Unfortunately, maybe we didn't have to stay in that state of perfect happiness forever and eventually take on some responsibility. For example, we take responsibility in our jobs, within our families, and especially in relation to the assets and liabilities we acquire. When it comes to the things we buy now, they offer us more utility. For example, buying a home gives us a place to raise our family and hopefully an asset that will appreciate in value over time. But take as much as you give. For example, it generates monthly mortgage payments, worries about home repairs, and keeps us rooted in a city or place. The crazy thing is that this is an example of productive debt of. If we look at other forms of debt like credit card debt, the benefit is basically zero. You gain some comfort at best, but are plagued by ongoing payments and interest charges, each robbing you of a little more of your financial flexibility. Well, the rich understanding that being rich isn't about how many things you have, it's about how little you have. Put another way, your fortune depends on how free you are, and while it's great to have a fancy car or a big house, when those items start restricting your daily lifestyle or cause you to live a certain way, they suddenly lower your wealth, regardless of how easily you can afford it. Span greater than so your goal should be to break free from financial ties in order to feel richer, never mind how much you have. Delete your student and credit card debt. Try to be mortgage-free, and when you achieve those goals, you'll feel a lot richer than you currently are. Well folks, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts below, and as always please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. On that note, I wish you a nice night or a nice day and see you next time.